Hello everyone, Riz here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about something that's very, very important to me, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about it from my future videos as well. And that's this idea of marginal gains, making small incremental improvements in your day-to-day life, and how those small improvements can lead to big leaps. And I turned 40 this year, and I think turning 40 does something to people. It can sometimes create a bit of an existential crisis, and a variety of things happened in my life of the last year, which certainly made me change my outlook and the way that I think about things. So, one of the things that I wanted to do was get back into a decent shape, get fitter, get stronger, do all the things that I used to be able to do relatively easy or easier. And I've suddenly found that those sorts of things are becoming quite difficult now. And I thought I'd start off with something that I've neglected, which was my physical health for quite some time. And one thing I noticed is that it's really, really difficult to just wake up one day and say, right, today I'm going to do a 45-minute workout and then still be motivated to do a similar sort of thing in a few days' time. It's very unlikely to happen. You might be able to do it as a one-off, but you're very unlikely to be able to do it on a continuous basis. So one of the things I thought about is how am I going to implement this idea of marginal gains, these small incremental improvements into my day-to-day life? Because I already do it when it comes to learning new material, reading books, trying to challenge myself in a mental capacity. Can I do so the same sort of thing in a physical capacity as well? I have a soft spot for eating lots and lots of sugary stuff. I like sweets. I like Asian sweets. I like all kinds of desserts. It's a general weakness of mine. So I thought, well, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be able to cut out all sugary stuff immediately. What I will be able to do is reduce, and if I can reduce the sugary stuff and maybe start introducing healthier substitutes, that might work. So over the last few months, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've slowly, slowly reduced the amount of sugary sweets, chocolates, all of those sorts of things, biscuits as well, all these things that I absolutely love and or used to love, and reduced them gradually and started introducing much healthier alternatives. So I started eating more dates, eating a lot more nuts as well, and I found that these things have helped me have a lot more energy, and at the same time, it's also helped me reduce all the things that are bad for me. So that was one tick. I thought, what else do I not do so well? Sleep seems to be a big issue for me. So I took all the components of sleep. So making sure I have a comfortable pillow to sleep on, which is massively helpful. So that was the first big thing. The temperature in the room being just right. I mean, I have to compromise between what my wife thinks is a good temperature and what I think is a good temperature. And then I started looking at my routine prior to me going to sleep. Well, actually, one of the things that I notice is that from the moment I wake up to the moment I go back to bed, everything I do has an effect on the type of sleep and the quality of sleep that I'm going to get. So I started to break down all the things that I could make changes in. One of the things that I noticed is that if I didn't do enough physical activity or mental activity, then I wasn't tired enough when it was bedtime. So that was one of the first things I looked at, making sure that even if I didn't do a particularly strong workout, I still got a certain number of steps in, and I still did something that was going to challenge me mentally or physically. So that was one component. The other thing I noticed was, I mean, I really like coffee. I like the taste of coffee. I love the smell of coffee. But I noticed that when I drink coffee after a certain amount of time, then it really has a massive impact on my sleep. Now, I said earlier on that this is about small incremental changes, small incremental improvements in your life. So if you're going to make if I was going to do something drastic like cut out caffeine altogether, that's not going to work for me because that's not something that's sustainable. And this is just something that people need to realize when they're trying to make big changes in their life too. You need to try and make it sustainable. So I thought, what can I do? Well, instead of having 2 or 3 cups of coffee in a day, I'm going to reduce it to one. And that 1 cup of coffee then became, well, right, I'm coping quite well with just 1 cup of coffee. I like to have tea. Tea doesn't seem to have the same effect on my, or negative effect on my sleep as coffee does. So what can I do to make that bit even better? So after a couple of months, I changed the time that I have coffee. So I now no longer have coffee past 2 o'clock. And again, these might seem like very small incremental changes, but these are the things that actually have a big impact on your life. These are the things that will help you create these giant leaps. So I did that, and now I'll have, if I have a cup of coffee, which I don't every day, I'll have it at a reasonable time because caffeine stays in your system for a long, long period. So that was another tick that helped me with my sleep. And some of the other things that I noticed was having a good routine. So I have a very typical routine going about going to bed. So I will pray my nighttime prayers. I'll read a book to my daughter. Um, with the summer timings, it's the other way around. I'll read a book to my daughter, put her to sleep, I'll put my son to sleep, and then I will have my nighttime prayer. And then I'll relax and then I'll go to bed. So again, that was another component is making sure that the routine was established so my body and my brain knows that it's now bedtime. And then I thought, well, I want to up it a little bit more now. So I'm getting decent sleep. And I can't emphasize just how important good sleep is, right? Especially as you get older, it takes a lot longer for your body to recover. So please, please make sure that you don't skip on a good night's sleep. You can have all the workout in the world, you can have the best nutrition, you can eat fantastic stuff cooked by the best chefs. If you're not getting good enough sleep, it's going to have a massively detrimental impact on your life. So get good sleep. All this nonsense people used to talk about, you only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep and then that's it, you're good to go. If you can get longer sleep, and if you can't, and you can maybe fit in a nap at some point in your day, then that's absolutely fantastic. I appreciate not everyone has that luxury, but also sleep can catch up with you. So if you can get a nap on a weekend, so a nap on a Saturday or a Sunday, then that can be incredibly helpful. So these are things that I found were the absolute foundation for me to start my exercise journey or start my exercise journey again. And I immediately, just by making a few lifestyle changes, I already started to feel a little bit healthier. And then it came to the actual exercise itself. So, what do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? So, the first thing I need to do is set myself some realistic goals. And these are things that everybody should have. You can have realistic goals. You can give yourself a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, a 90-day plan, whatever it might be. But then you're going to break that down further. And I said earlier on, it's very difficult to do a 45-minute workout when you haven't worked out in a really, really long time and then expect to do a similar sort of thing in days 3 and days 5 and days 7 or whatever it might be, or whatever your routine looks like. It's far easier to start off small, but then start off small and do something every single day so that your body and your mind gets used to you doing exercise, you doing some movement, and then it doesn't feel like a chore anymore. I always say to people that it's far easier for somebody who hasn't done anything at all, rather than to go out for a run or a jog or go sign up to a gym. All of these things can be quite overwhelming for people who haven't done that sort of thing in the past. Go for a walk. And your first walk doesn't even have to be a long walk. You're going to walk 1 block today. And tomorrow you're going to walk 1 block. But next week you're going to try and walk 2 blocks. And these small incremental changes, these are realistic, and these are things that can then help you achieve, oh, maybe I'm going to run 5K in 6 months' time, or half a marathon, whatever it is that's going to actually physically challenge you, but at the same time, it's going to be sustainable, it's going to be realistic. So if you've stuck with me for this long, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, and I welcome any feedback. So thank you very much. Have a good day.